Hello guys, welcome to this live stream. There's been some stuff happening in Sweden today, which I thought would be of interest for you guys to know. So instead of just doing a regular video where I edit, I thought I want to do a live stream, so maybe we can take some of your questions as well, and so on. So let's get right into it. So actually, just right now tonight, there's some breaking news from Sweden. In the Swedish city of Malmö, there has been another bombing. That's right, another bombing in Sweden today. So there's actually been 2 bombings in Sweden today. So it's getting quite insane. So I thought I'll just go through what's been happening. I did actually the periscope on this on my Twitter account as well. So I thought I'd do one for you guys here on YouTube too. And if you have any questions, as I said, please use the live chat or super chat if you want to support my work, and I'll try and all super chats will be read live on the stream. So so that's a guarantee, guys. So let's get right into it. So earlier this morning in the Swedish city of Gothenburg, in fact in a no-go zone there called Biskopsgården, where there's been several shootings and attacks and so on recently. So it was in the morning at a house, a family house, a villa. 7 people inside, including kids, were, I guess, fast asleep. But all of a sudden, someone threw a hand grenade right through the window. Boom! Smashed the window. In flies a hand grenade, and kaboom! Explodes in the house. So that's interesting. Luckily, no one was injured. I mean, but just a few weeks ago, a pensioner was killed in a hand grenade attack in Stockholm. So, but this was this morning, a hand grenade attack. Someone throws a hand grenade in through the window and explodes inside a house. I mean, just imagine that. Just imagine if you have a family, you have kids, you're in your house in a villa, a relatively nice house. But all of a sudden, someone just throws a hand grenade in through the window, and boom, it explodes. I mean, that's just completely unacceptable. I mean, it's completely unacceptable. I mean, there's no way about it. I mean, it cannot happen. It should. I mean, this cannot happen in a civilized country. So that was early this morning. Now tonight there was another bomb that went off. Now in between there's been some murders and murder attempts this Sunday, so they don't seem to take a break for Sunday, that's for sure. So tonight, I mean, just 1.5 hours ago, a bomb went off in the city of Malmö. In fact, in another no-go zone called Rosengård, which is in Malmö. It's a notorious no-go zone. So another bomb went off. I would presume perhaps another hand grenade. Who knows? Went off in. Let me see if I can just adjust the camera quick here. There we go. Yeah. So another bomb went off tonight in the city of Malmö. It damaged the outside of some buildings. Now, this actually happened very close to the police station in Rosengård, which, in fact, only a few days ago, the police station in the very same area was bombed in Sweden. In that very same area that was bombed tonight, the police station was bombed just a few days ago. 2 police cars were completely destroyed in that bombing a couple of days ago. And now there was another bomb tonight in that area. Now, the Swedish police said that in 2017 they saw 200 explosive attacks happen, including around 40 hand grenades, and then the rest were bombings, etc. So that was last year in Sweden. I mean, the last 3 years there's been 140 hand grenade attacks. I actually just saw on the news in Sweden a grenade launcher was found at a paper factory. So there was a paper factory, and all of a sudden, hidden in a shipment of wood, there was a grenade launcher lying in there. I mean, Who are storing these caches of weapons? I mean, and just a couple of months ago outside of Stockholm, they found an RPG, a rocket-propelled grenade. Who are storing these weapons? I mean, they're having caches of weapons lying around, and you know, the Swedish government. I mean, one thing that's been a bit worrying is the Swedish government recently sent out leaflets warning of a war. I did a separate video on this. That's on my channel. They sent out leaflets 4.7 million to 4.7 million households in Sweden, warning people what to do in case of a war or what to do in case of a terrorist attack in Sweden. They haven't done this since World War II. This is the first time since World War II they've done this. So it's kind of worrying, you know. What are they doing? What are they preparing for? Why are they sending out these leaflets to the households in Sweden? You know. And by the way, if you have any questions, again, as I said, use the live chat. I'll try and answer them best I can. And if you use the super chat, all questions in the super chat will definitely be read. Yeah. So. The politicians, all the three politicians for the three biggest parties in Sweden, recently talked about the war in parliament. The Swedish Democrat leader, Jimmie Åkesson, which is the third biggest party in Sweden, he said that the quote of war is being waged on Swedish society. And the leader for the second biggest party, Ulf Kristersson, for the Moderates party, which is the second biggest party in Sweden, he said that these people are running around with hand grenades as if they are in a war. And then the Swedish Prime Minister, Stefan Löfven, he said that he's considering deploying the military to combat these criminal gangs. So it's kind of a dire situation in Sweden right now with the hand grenade crisis and the bombing crisis going on. I mean, there's been 2 bombings just today in Sweden, just today alone. It's really insane. I see I have a question here from Helena here in the live chat asking why my eyes are red. Well, they're not that red now. I mean, I think it's the lighting that makes my eyes look a little bit red now. But I know that my eyes have been red before. It's because of the cold weather here in Norway. My eyes get irritated and it's dry and so on. So yeah, I don't even drink, guys. So I'm very trad. There's nothing of that sort. You know, Damien Våg here asks, can I see the leaflet you're talking about? I don't have the leaflet myself as I'm not living in Sweden currently. I actually live in Norway at the moment. I've had to leave both Sweden and England because of free speech is not that good in some countries in Europe right now. Yeah, so what is the solution to these problems, these bombings? Because 2 bombings in one day in Sweden is completely not sustainable at all. You know, they have grenade launchers, RPGs, hand grenades, not to talk about machine guns, you know, the automatic weapons. I mean, that's almost a daily occurrence now, shootings with machine guns. You know, all they're missing now is a tank and the fighter jets, and it's basically GTA 5 in real life in Sweden. I mean, that's almost. I mean, they're only missing the tanks and fighter jets for having, and then they have a real life GTA. You know, they have the hand grenades, they have the machine guns, the AK-47s, they have the grenade launchers, they have the RPGs, they have bulletproof vests. Oh yeah, that's another thing. People in Sweden now are walking around more and more with bulletproof vests in case they get shot. You know, there was actually news the other day. 2 people wearing bulletproof vests near a church were shot. Luckily, they survived because they had the bulletproof vests. But I mean, who are walking around bulletproof vests in case they get shot? And they did get shot. I mean, this is insane. People in Sweden are walking around bulletproof vests in case they get attacked. I mean, I guess the pensioner that was killed by a hand grenade a couple of weeks ago in Stockholm, I guess he probably should have worn a bulletproof vest because that might have saved his life. But unfortunately, he was just a pensioner on his way home. He had actually the pensioner was killed in a hand grenade attack a couple of weeks ago in Stockholm. He he wasn't pensioned yet. He was 63 years old. He he had just finished his shift working as an elderly carer. He actually worked night shift, so he had just finished a night shift. It was morning. He went home to his wife, and they went out on a little biking trip to their local grocery store to recycle some bottles. In case you don't know, in Sweden and in Norway, I don't think you have this in America, but basically in Sweden and Norway, we have a system where when you buy a plastic bottle like a Coke, I'm in Norway, so they have this in Norway as well. If you look here on the bottle, it says here one, and it says pant down here, which basically means, what's the English word for it? I cannot think of the English word. It's like when you buy a drink in a plastic bottle in Norway and Sweden, you pay 1 kroner extra for the bottle. And then when you go to the store and recycle the bottle, they have a machine where you just put the bottle in the machine, and then you get a receipt saying how much money you get back. So basically, you pay 1 kroner extra for the bottle, and then when you have drunk everything up and you recycle the bottle back at the grocery store, you get the money back. So I don't know the English word for it. Deposit, yes, in live chat. Deposit, yes. You pay a deposit for the bottle and you get it back. So he was going to his grocery store to get his deposits back. And now I think my camera just unfocused. See if we can fix that. See if... No. I'm not sure what happened right here. My camera just unfocused. Hopefully it's... Oh, there it goes. Yes. So yeah, so that was what he was doing, and while he was going to his grocery store to get his deposit back, he was killed by a hand grenade. And by the way, thank you so much, Helena, there for the super chat, $10. Thank you so much. She writes, "Thanks for what you do." Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. It helps. It really means, because this is basically my only income is the work that I do with journalistic reporting. So thank you so much for your support there, Helena. Really appreciate it, and I wish you well. Also had another super chat here from Alexander Hansen from Denmark. Thank you so much. Yeah, he comments here, "What is going on in Sweden?" Yeah, what is going on in Sweden? That's my question too. Thank you so much for super chat there. What's going on in Sweden? Well, what's going on in Sweden is that we have basically, I'm going to say, I think I'm going to say it quite honestly here. By the way, is the focus okay on the screen? I kind of tend to see that I'm not in focus. Let me know in the live chat, guys, if my face is in focus or not. It looks a little bit blurred to me. Let me know if the video is okay or if it is blurred. It looks a little bit blurred on my side. Yeah, basically in Sweden, our politicians are not looking out for Swedish interests. They're looking out for other people's interests. That's basically what is happening. I mean, it's as simple as that. They are not looking out for interests of Swedish people at all. It's as simple as that. They have other interests, globalist interests, international globalist interests that they are, pushing instead. You have you have likes of George Soros pumping in money in Sweden to try and skew the election results. I mean, George Soros pumped in loads of money to a Swedish far-left organization called Expo at last election to spread propaganda, basically, against the Swedish Democrat Party, which is a nationalist party. So they, you talk about Russian hacking. Well, the real issue here is actually George Soros hacking, not Russian hacking. George Soros is the kind of guy that is kind of hacking elections, if you put it that way, not Putin. That's just a cover-up. Probably by George Soros. I mean, it would not surprise me at all if George Soros is behind this Putin election hacking thing going around. Because that's a really smart tactic that the left is doing. Accuse your opponent of what you yourself is guilty of. That is a very effective and foul tactic that some people employ. Accuse your opponent of what you yourself is guilty of. I mean, that's really smart tactic. I can't remember who said that first. If anyone can remind me in the live chat, I have read that quote somewhere else. Someone else said that first. I just cannot think of who it was. Anyway, Carl Greater asks if there's huge army exercise being carried out in Sweden. Not now, not currently. Yeah, so the Swedish politicians have now for a long time had other interests than the Swedish people. I thought, and that's where you see the difference between Norway and. So I'm just trying to. Apologies, guys. I'm just trying to focus. I'm not sure if on my end my camera looks a bit out of focus. I'm not sure if it looks like that for you guys. Let me know if the video is okay or if it is not. I think that might look better. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's okay. Yeah. So if you look at Norway, they actually care more about their own people much more than Sweden. Sweden, they have globalist interests. Norway, I mean, Norway's going in the wrong direction, but still a lot better. Norway, they care about its own people. Norway is very. I'm going to say it like this. I'm in Norway right now, and Norway is definitely the most conservative, traditional country in Western Europe by far. The only ones that rival Norway in Europe, the only ones that are more conservative and traditional is Poland, Hungary, and those countries, Eastern Europe. But for Western Europe, Norway is by far the most traditional and conservative country. Then perhaps I would probably say it would be followed up perhaps by Italy. In Western Europe, you would have Norway, then Italy, perhaps for the most conservative traditional countries. Then for the worst countries, it's quite easy. Probably the UK. And Sweden and Germany. I mean, they are the three worst countries in Western Europe at the moment. But definitely, the Norwegians are very nationalistic, patriotic. I'm actually going to, in 2 days' time, I'm heading to the Populist Party, which is currently in government in Norway. Sylvi Listhaug, which has been integration minister for Norway, under her oversight, Norway is now actually taking a record low numbers of migrants, the lowest number since 1995, in fact. So I think they're taking in about 1,000 migrants per year in Norway now. And that's because that's all thanks to her. And she's actually having a meeting, which I'm going to attend. I'm going to attend a meeting with her in a couple of days' time. So that's going to be very interesting indeed. She is an avid Christian, traditional. She seems very traditional. She's for the Populist Party in Norway. It seems like my camera is keeping getting out of focus. Let's see if I can fix the focus. Not sure if that is better. Should be good enough. If the video quality is too bad, let me know, guys. Kvasir here in the live chat says that he's not getting any notifications from YouTube and Periscope when I go live. If you haven't done so already, make sure to. There's a note. I don't know if you're on YouTube right now, which you are if you're watching this video. There is a if you haven't subscribed to me already, do so. And then beside the subscribe button, I believe it's either on this side here or it is on this side here. Just beside the subscribe button, there's a little bell, a notification bell. If you aren't getting any notifications when I go live or when I put out new videos, make sure to hit that notification bell right now, guys. It should be right down there, just beside the subscribe button. There is a little notification bell. Make sure to hit that, and then you will get notifications whenever I go live or whenever I upload a new video. So make sure to hit that button, guys. Yeah, I mean, I will be uploading a new video on the explosions in Sweden. There was 200 explosions in Sweden last year. I will be uploading a separate video on that as well, so make sure to watch out for that, guys. Is there anything else to point out? Well, yes, I believe so far this year, there's only been 21 days in this new year. I believe there's been either 3 or 4 hand grenade attacks in Sweden. So police cars have been destroyed by hand grenades. A guy was killed by hand grenade, and then there was this hand grenade attack this morning in Gothenburg. I believe there might have been another one. But three hand grenade attacks in 21 days is unprecedented. A lot. If you look at it, here's one thing I want to point out before we finish. There was 200 explosions in Sweden in 2017. Now think about this. There's only 10 million people living in Sweden. There's a population of 10 million people living in Sweden. So if you 200 explosions per 10 million people. Now, if you extrapolate that up to a bigger country like America, which has 320 million people, it's going to get, so you can kind of get a perspective of how bad this actually is in Sweden. So if you look at, have a country like America, which has 320 million people in population, if the same amount of explosions that happened in Sweden would have happened in a country like America with 320 million people, there would have been, if you do the maths, there would have been 6,400 explosions in 1 year. That is what is happening in Sweden. If you're American, if you're living in America, imagine if there was 6,400 explosions in 1 year. That is exactly what is happening in Sweden if you account for a difference in population. Imagine that. It would not be tolerated at all. It would have been, probably would have been martial law introduced, and something would have been done to stop it. I mean, this is low-level domestic terrorism happening almost daily in Sweden. So it really puts it into perspective how bad it actually is with the grenade crisis, the bombing crisis in Sweden, because it really is very bad indeed. As I said, this video, I did start this live stream because there was actually 2 bombings just today in Sweden. So yeah, if you have any more questions, guys, in the live chat or in the super chat, I'll dedicate these last 5 minutes here to the live chat if we have anything here before we finish this video. By the way, I can mention, if you haven't seen it already, PayPal actually banned me earlier due to the nature of my activities. So PayPal, for some reason, thinks that my activities are controversial or something, that they didn't want me as customer. They banned my PayPal account. So I no longer have PayPal anymore. So if you guys want to support me, there's a free speech alternative called Maker Support. They only have one rule on their website, and that is the American First Amendment. So they're a free speech website, and they actually they're actually a combination of both PayPal and Patreon. You can do one time, so you can support me one time there, or you can actually do it monthly. So it's a very, very good way if you want to support me. And they are a new free speech site, so I would recommend everyone to at least sign up and make an account there, because they also have a little bit of a social media thing where you can post messages there as well. So do sign up to make a support. I have the description below, guys. Or the super chat here on YouTube also works fine if you want to support me. So we have a question here from JA. Predictions for election year in Sweden. What do you think about the Islamic Party? Well, the Islamic Party actually don't exist anymore. They started up earlier, but they actually disappeared. I actually believe they were not allowed to stand in the elections. Who I think will win? My gut feeling is that, according to the polls, the Socialist Party that is currently in government is still leading the polls. But we have the Swedish Democrats, the Nationalist Party, which is they want to stop migration. They are doing quite well as well. It looks like they might come in second. My gut feeling is probably they will come in second, maybe first. We will see. We have a super chat here from Philip Drummond. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much, man. He asks, why don't I see about this in the news in the UK? Yeah, why don't you see this in the news in the UK? Yeah, I wonder why. Because, I mean, you don't see this in the mainstream media at all, really. It's the mainstream media. Here's the thing. Sweden has kind of been a social experiment with socialism and mass migration being touted, Sweden being a country where socialism and mass migration is being touted as working perfectly and being this great success. That's what the liberals and leftists in the mainstream media want you to think. So when anything comes up which disproves their opinion about Sweden, they really don't want to report on it. It goes against the narrative. And as we all know, the mainstream media is incredibly biased, as I have personal experience. I was actually talking to a journalist on Twitter tonight, and we were discussing the rape statistics that came out for Sweden in 2017. There was actually, I'll make a separate video about this. There was actually a 10% increase in rapes in Sweden from 2016 to 2017. So there was around 6,800 rapes in 2016. Now the figures for 2017 are out, and there was 7,200 rapes in Sweden in 2017. So there was a 10% increase, and actually it's really bad when you do the maths. When you do the math, I actually wrote an article about this. When you do the maths, this actually means that 1 in 8 of all women will be raped during her lifetime in Sweden. That's how bad it is. And I was discussing with him the rape crisis in Sweden. He was just, and I was citing this official Swedish government statistics. And this journalist, this mainstream media guy, he was like, "Oh, this bogus statistics that you're just using to fuel far-right rhetoric, blah, 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 blah." And I'm like, dude, this is the Swedish government's own official statistics. And then he blocked me. He blocked me. This is a verified journalist on Twitter. I told him, yeah, this is the official Swedish government statistics on rapes. And then he blocks me. This is the kind of level that we're dealing with here with the mainstream media. We also have a super chat here from Linda Freeman. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it, Linda. Thank you so much. She writes best wishes and much appreciated. Thank you so much for your support. Really appreciate it. Let me see if we have any other comments or questions here that I should take up here before we finish this live stream. I have another article to write tonight, so after I finish this live stream, I'm going to write another article for a Swedish news site, actually. Yeah, Kent Laden says there's an average of 19 rapes a day in Sweden. Actually, there's an average of 20 rapes a day in Sweden. How much did rape increase in Sweden from 2015 up to today, asks Moonster. There was a 15% increase in rapes from 2015 to 2016. From 2016 to 2017, there was a 10% increase in rapes. I'm trying to remember. I have the statistics here somewhere. Let me find them. Here we go. From 2007 until 2017, there was a 34% increase of rapes in Sweden. 34% in 10 years. That's pretty bad. If this continues for another 20 years, I've done the maths on this. If this continues for another 20 years, that means that 13,000 women will be raped every year in Sweden in 20 years if this continues at this rate. That would mean, because there's 5 million women living in Sweden, that would mean that 1 in 5 of Swedish women will be raped during her lifetime. That's pretty bad. I would kind of call it a crisis. So yeah, it's pretty bad. And if you're going further back, in 1974, there was 421 rapes. In 2017, there was 7,200 rapes in Sweden. Now, I'm not even going to try and do the maths on how much percentage that is, but I believe that it's somewhere in the region of 1,500% increase, something like that. If anyone in live chat is really good at maths, please let me know. How much percentage increase is it from 421 until 7,200? I believe that's somewhere in the region of 1,500% increase of rapes in what, how long time is that? 34 years. Pretty bad. Pretty bad indeed. I mean, imagine how nice it used to be in Sweden. No crime. I mean, and if you look at the shooting statistics, I mean, only back in 2000 and I think it was 2009 something, there was like 4 people. I think it was 8 people killed in shootings back in 2008, and now 2017 there was 40 or something killed in shootings. Okay, people here in the live chat says it's a 1,800% increase. Yeah, I thought it was pretty bad. It was somewhere in that region. I'm not that good at maths, guys. So thank you so much there for that. Thank you so much for Sovereign Man 85 with the super chat here. He writes, keep this up, man. Thanks for your work. The sleeping giant must be awoken. Return of the Kings. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. It really means a lot. All right. Yeah, and thank you to everyone in the live chat who managed to figure out it was 1,800% increase. Yeah, 1,800% increase in rapes in Sweden from 1974 until 2017. Just 34 years, 1,800% increase in rapes. I mean, in any I mean, that's a crisis. I mean, that's a catastrophe. I mean, really. And if you look at the shootings, there's been, I think it's been like 400% increase in deadly shootings in Sweden in the last 10 years. So from 1974 until 2017, there's been 1,800% increase in rapes. The last 10 years in Sweden, there's been a 400% increase in deadly shootings. There's been how many grenade attacks were there in Sweden before? I had statistics on it somewhere. I think it was somewhere in the region of, just trying to remember, grenade attacks. Yeah, there weren't many. I think it was. I have the statistics somewhere. I don't have it in my head, but I believe back in 2012, I think there were 2 grenade attacks. Or maybe there was 2. Yeah, somewhere around the region of 2010, there was 2 grenade attacks per year in Sweden. Now there is 40, 50 grenade attacks per year. So that's quite a substantial increase there as well. Quite a catastrophic increase, really. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's just insane what's happening in Sweden with the criminality. I mean, these criminal gangs are completely taking over these areas, and it's just going down the drain, basically. See, some guys in live chat are commenting that I look. That I don't look too good. I think it might be the lighting. I am feeling completely fine. I hope it's not a camera. I think my face is a little bit out of focus. Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, no, my eyes are a bit red because of the dry weather. It's like mine is really cold outside. And my eyes get red and irritated due to the cold weather. It makes the air really dry, and my eyes, for some reason, have been very irritated this winter. It used to be that my skin used to be very irritated by the winter weather, but my skin is completely fine this year. But on the other hand, my eyes have been completely red because of the winter instead. So I'm not tired, Laura, in live chat there. I'm not that tired, but it's dry weather. I'm going to say it's. Otherwise, I feel fine, except I had a terrible toothache before. I need to get to a dentist. I have my fluoride filter apparently didn't work as well as I hoped. Or maybe I shouldn't have bought that fluoride filter for Alex Jones. I probably should have been taking fluoride all the time. That probably would have helped my tooth out, and my teeth wouldn't have been that bad. What do you think, guys? What do you think of fluoride? Should we drop fluoride or should we not drop fluoride? My dentist, I don't know. I don't know if I've been acting strangely lately because the last couple of months, I actually cut out fluoride. Back a year ago, I cut out fluoride for a complete, for a whole year. I didn't take any fluoride at all. Then my teeth didn't feel too good about that, so my doctor prescribed me some super strong fluoride toothpaste. So I don't know. I know people say fluoride is a poison. I would kind of tend to agree with that, but also my teeth haven't been doing too well either from that. So I don't know. So now the last few months I have been using a very high strength fluoride toothpaste. I don't know if I've been acting strange lately, if that is if you have noticed anything, but if my mind has become clouded by the fluoride, I don't know. But yeah. Luke Warner says the political correctness in the United Kingdom is getting worse every day. Yeah, I kind of had experience with that myself. My parents have been, shall we say, visited by the police several times because they are my parents. And, well, I guess some people don't like my report. Well, I don't know. Whatever reason the police have had, I would suspect some kind of hate crime, some thought crime, I would guess. So my parents have been receiving visits from the police. So yeah, it's not too good in the UK. Yeah, I think most of the people in live chat here seems agree. It seems that they agree that fluoride is not the best thing. Yeah, I would agree. I know that fluoride is bad for people. I know it's poison, but it also helps the teeth. So I don't know. Right-wing champ says don't trust tap water. Well, the tap water where I live here in Norway is actually very good indeed. It's actually, you cannot see it right now, but out this window here is a huge mountain. Several hundred. It's a huge mountain here, which is snow covered right now. It's beautiful in the daylight, and up on that mountain is actually a lake, a fresh kind of glacier sea lake, yeah, up in the mountain. And I believe that my tap water actually comes from these mountains. So my tap water is very, very, very good around these areas here in the Norwegian mountains. So yeah. Charlie Sheen asks, how come your parents in the UK and I have such a strong accent? Well, I didn't grow up in the UK. I grew up in Sweden, so that's why I have an accent. There is this ridiculous rumor going around. I know it started by the far left hate group Hope Not Hate, and then I saw even Red Eyes did a video where they talked negatively about me. They said they claim that I'm a British citizen. They actually believe this. It started with the far left group, and then even Red Eyes did a hit piece video on me, calling me British. It's the most pathetic thing I've ever seen in my life. I've never been British in my entire life. I've been living in the UK for a little while, but I've been British. That's the most stupid thing I ever heard. Yeah, I think we're going to wrap this live stream up here, guys. Apologies if the video has been a little bit bad. I think on my end, the video quality has seemed like a little bit out of focus. I'm not sure. Maybe it's just dark. Anyway, yeah, we're going to wrap this live stream up here, guys. I have some more work to do here. Yeah, thank you so much for watching, guys. Make sure to hit the like button. That's good for the video. That's good for the views. It will be more views. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't done so. And again, hit the notification bell just beside the subscribe button. Then you will get notifications whenever whenever I do a live stream or whenever new videos get put out. So make sure to hit the notification bell. That's really important, actually, because YouTube are introducing these new functions all the time. Where even if you subscribe to someone, you don't see whenever new videos come out, because they introduce all these new notification buttons you have to click all the time. So yeah, that's make sure to hit the notification bell and share this video if you want to. And thank you so much for watching, everyone, and thank you so much to everyone in the super chat. I really appreciate you guys, and I'll see you guys. I'll upload some more videos. I don't know if probably tomorrow, about some really interesting topics. And yeah, so stay tuned for that, guys, and I'll see you guys later.